What's going on? This is Ryan with Automatic Comics, and up next, got a pretty cool unboxing here. This one should be pretty quick. Just a couple books in here. Actually might do the interior of one, or I don't know, maybe both of those. At least partial interior of one, likely do the interior of the other. And then one really unique book right here as well that I want to show. I've never actually had a raw copy of a book like this before. So, really excited for these. Let's check out these books. So before we get started, please remember to hit that like button and hit the subscribe button if you would like to see more content like this. Again, really appreciate all the likes, the subscriptions, the comments, all of that. Really helps the channel. So again, really appreciate all that. So let's actually just talk about this book that I've opened already. So this book showed up a little bit ago, and I didn't do an unboxing for it because I only had this one book at the time. And I wanted to make sure I check it out quickly. I like to check out raws quickly in case there is some type of issue or something like that, because if there's restoration or missing pages, whatever it might be, I want to initiate that return. That's why these ones just showed up recently, and these are both raw books, and so I'll check those live here as well. All right, so the first book here, what makes this one so unique? Well, we're gonna take it out of the bag, I'll show it off a little bit. So this is Teen Comics number 33. This is a timely book. This is one, I've shown books like this before where you've got the Marvel Comics stamp right there. So these are pretty cool. I like that stamp. I think it's a really cool stamp on there. But this is from, I believe, 1949. And you can see it's this kind of like good girl art type cover. Pretty cool, has this date stamp here as well. It says June 23rd received, and like I said, it should be from 1949. So what makes this book so unique? So these in general are relatively uncommon. These kind of, I almost call them like romance or similar to Archie type covers or runs from Timely. But this one has something special about it that I thought was really cool. So take this one out and show it off. And I need to be careful handling it. So see, we've got Teen Comics number 33. And then got double cover, Teen Comics number 33. So I thought that was pretty cool. I've had a few double covers in the past. I've had a X-Men number 8 double cover. I had a early Golden Age Wonder Woman double cover. It was like issue, I don't know, like 40 or something like that. And I think I've maybe had, I had a Tales from the Crypt double cover. So I've had a few of them, but I've never had one that's raw. It's always been graded. So I thought that was pretty cool to actually, have one that's raw and being able to, kind of like see that second cover in there. So this is considered a manufacturing error. I am planning on getting this one graded because I do think this one will actually be top of the census for this book, which is pretty unique because the highest graded copy right now, I believe, is a 4.0. There's like a 4.0 and a 3.0. I think this one has a shot at a, maybe even a 6. I think it's a pretty solid 5.5, maybe a 6. But what this one will actually grade as is on the label. When you have multiple covers, they give the grade for each cover, and then the grade that you get for the book is the highest grade. And so this front cover here is actually going to get a 0.5, and that's because the back cover is almost completely gone. But the interior cover looks pretty nice, and so I think that one has a pretty good chance, especially after a press, of getting a, like I said, 5.5 to a 6. Now I'll show why this one is going to get that 0.5. You can see this is the back cover, and so it's like it's almost completely gone. Like that's a loose piece on the top there. I want to be kind of careful with it, but it is fully attached, and so you can see that the cover behind it is actually pretty nice. There's the full cover behind it, and then something happened, whether it got stuck on something or what, it just got pulled off. And so that one will definitely get a 0.5 because so much of that cover is missing. But because the interior cover is actually quite nice, I think that one will get that 5.5, maybe a 6, especially after a press. There's some spine wear that's tough to show here because it's along the spine where you have another cover, and there's also a little bit of creasing and wear to the cover. So I'm sure it looks real nice on camera, but there are some flaws to it that I think will hold it back some. But definitely worthwhile to get pressed. But the nice thing about this one is that a lot of times when you have that external cover that is that's a lower grade, it looks a lot worse. And so this one, you know, that external cover is a 0.5, but it actually presents really, really well. Like I would say, especially after a press, this might look as good as a 5.5. I mean, it's definitely got some pressable defects and things, and those aren't going to improve the grade, but they will improve the appearance of the book. Plus it has that date stamp, so I don't want to lose any of that. And I think that that's a big plus with this one, is that you'll have a nice presenting double cover, even though that first cover is going to be a low grade. And then I think it's going to end up being the top of the census for this book. Now, part of that can also be just because not very many of these are submitted for grading. I mean, only 2 have been submitted. I mean, there could be hundreds or something like that out there, and then people just don't grade them because the value isn't there. It's hard to say. But at least for some time, this will, you know, once I get it graded, assuming one doesn't come in between now and then, I think this one should end up being top of census as well. So I thought that was pretty cool. Double cover will end up being top of census. First cover is actually a 0.5, but it looks real nice. So I thought this was a really unique book. All right. Now for this. So there are 2 books in here. Neither of them, I've never had either of these before. One of them I bought just because it felt like just too good of a price to pass up. I mean, it was just for the chance to own the book. And it's one that I'll be selling. I mean, both these are books that I'll be selling, but just for a chance to own the book, I thought it was too good of a price to pass up. And I'm gonna, let's see. It's not too much tape. I don't think I'll need to cut to get this tape off. Because sometimes there's a lot of tape on these things when you buy them, and it takes me a while, or I have to like cut through them with a razor blade or, you know, something like that. But this one doesn't seem too bad. And at least for one of the books, I don't really have to be too careful with it. The other one, I mean, it's not a high grade book, but I still want to be relatively careful with that one. All right. So I'm gonna get these 2 books out. We'll check these out.
A few moments later.
All right, so got them out, got them into new bags and everything, so they look all nice. So the first one here, this is a cool one. I've tried to pick up a copy of this a number of times. I have never happened to be able to get one either in a live sale or auction or anything like that. This is Batman number 20. And so what this is this is the first cover appearance of the Batmobile. And it's an awesome cover appearance of the Batmobile. It's similar to Superman number 9, where you've got, you know, it jumping out of the page basically. And, you know, just a really great image, great yellow cover, early Batman. And now the big flaw with this one. And so this is the one that I felt was just too good of a deal to pass up. But this one is a restored copy. So what's restored on it is there are some pieces added to the cover. It looks like probably on the spine. I'm guessing, you know, like that piece there, maybe a little piece here, something like that. And it's also missing a number of interior pages, and those are replaced with photocopies. So this is actually the one that I'll do a flip through of, and we can, you know, take a look at like what's actually in there, what the photocopies are, that kind of stuff. So, I mean, it's a 0.5, but it's still Batman number 20, and it's still the cover. You know, the main image is all still the same. The places where those little pieces are added are along the spine. And so you still have that, like that iconic cover, that really cool Batman number 20 first Batmobile cover. So I thought that one was really cool. And like I said, this is the one that I'm going to do kind of an interior flip through of. Now, the other one, this is a book that I think I talked about this one, or one of us talked about it on the kind of like the Halloween pre-code horror video that I did with, along with Drew at Como Comics and Mickey at Swaggle House Comics. And we were talking about some of the real well-known cover artists and kind of like some alternative keys for them. You know, they could still be expensive, but alternative keys to the big ones that they're known for. And this was one of those that had been talked about. And this is Tomb of Terror number 16. So Tomb of Terror 15, that is like the big book in the run, the really expensive book in the run. And I'll throw a picture of it up over here so you can see that one. This is one issue later, and personally, I actually like this cover more. The other one is one of those super violent covers, and for me, the super violent covers, I tend to they aren't for me as much. I like some of the more horror focused type covers, and this is one of the drowning covers, and I talked about that when I was talking about the top 10 pre-code horror comics under $1,000, the video that I put out recently. And one of those that I had talked about there was Astonishing number 8, which is a drowning cover, and it's that side view where you've got the the water level and then whatever's going on underwater. And this one, I mean, I think this one isn't under $1,000, so I can't do a direct comparison with Astonishing number 8, but this one may be better. It's close. This is a Lee Elias cover as well, and so it has that big name artist behind it, and you've got the woman in the red dress kind of in the background there, doesn't really know what's going on, and all this craziness happening out in the water here. You've got the skulls and stuff underwater, this zombie and everything. So I just thought this was a cool one to be able to pick up. I think they had it as a 3.5. I don't know if we get a 3.5. I think probably closer to a 3. I think a 3 is pretty reasonable. It is attached, but I don't want to. I was thinking about maybe doing a flip through of this one as well, but I looked at the spine and I don't want to do like that kind of stress on the spine because it is fully attached. Let's see. Where's it? Yeah, you got one staple here, and the other staple is kind of hard to see, but it is there. It's in there, and it is attached, but I feel like if you mess around with it too much, it's one of those things you could accidentally detach it. It's got the little piece out of the top here, but in general, the colors are really great on this copy. So this, to me, is my favorite cover from that Tomb of Terror run, but it's the number 2 cover for the run when you compare it to Tomb of Terror 15 in terms of value. But this one has been getting more pricey. It's getting pretty expensive in all grades now. But yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. So those are the books. Now I'm gonna turn the camera around and we'll flip through that Batman number 20. All right, so here we are with the Batman number 20. And I thought the other thing I could show real quick is just what happens when you light one of these up with a black light, because there are some pieces added. There's some kind of like tear seal type reinforcement stuff. So you can see we've got the black light here. You can see things really light up here. You can see that really white along there, but one of the places that it's real obvious is on this interior. Let's show that. So you can see how right down here on the bottom, right here where I'm pointing with my finger, there's like some type of glue or tear seal, and you see how that lights up. And so this is the kind of thing, and you can see it along the spine as well where it's glued in. See how it's really lighting up there. And so this is the kind of thing you get, a black light like this. I really like this one because, I won't shine it at the camera. I like this one because it has so many bulbs. It really lights up. And this one was recommended to me by my buddy Jake with Spectales podcast. And so this one works really, really well if you want to see some of that stuff pop out real easily. Because I had a different black light before, and it just didn't really show all that much. But yeah, you can see that tear seal over here on the edge too. So that's one of the things that if you just get a black light like that and just shine it on the book, that's going to catch a lot of the types of restoration that might be out there. Just something to really help you and just have ready if you are buying raw books, especially raw books from the Golden Age. All right, so after all that, let's take a look at this interior. And you saw that first splash page is awesome. Like, that is a great splash page. You got Joker, you've got this like sci-fi rocket thing going on, you've got the really cool Batman header. So really cool first opening splash page on this book. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to flip through these and play some music in the background. You can see this interior of the Batman 20. Okay, now this is where you can see these. This is an example of one of these photocopied pages. So you see how shiny that page is there versus this page. Like this page is kind of that standard newsprint. This page is clearly a copy, a different material. But so that was what was done. So you still had the story, but you have these replacement pages added in. And you can see here, it looks like it's the actual paper, but that's actually the photocopy. That's white behind it. This is all one single sheet, and it really looks like it's that actual paper. It's a nice copy. It's cool that it's there, but yeah, these pages are not present. And now we are back to regular newsprint again. So again, you can see the glossiness on this one. That's not present on this one. So we're back to the original pages again. All right, so that was the full interior of Batman number 20. Pretty cool, multiple stories. I think there were four, I believe there were 4 total Batman stories throughout this book. And just something that's really different between this and the Detective Comics books. Those books in this time period still had all the other types of stories. They were not just Batman. So these Batman books, it's just cool that they have all Batman stories in them versus Detective Comics, which have a lot of stories most people really aren't all that interested in anymore. Everybody wants the Batman ones. So yeah, so that's the final page. Hope you enjoyed that flip through. All right, so I hope you enjoyed that video. Got to see some cool books, the interior of the Batman 20, at least, you know, the interior that was there of the Batman number 20. If you enjoyed this video, if you'd like to see more content like this, please hit that subscribe button. Hit the like button, notification bell, all that stuff. I've got more videos over here if you'd like to watch some of my other videos. Subscription button is right here. If you'd like to subscribe to the channel, I'd really appreciate it. And I will see you in the next video.